Another thing he talked about at the end of his speech that I thought was really good was when he talked about how people in the church always encourage young people to be missionaries or pastors or go out into the world and serve. Nobody encourages young kids to do the arts. Nobody. Mm-hmm. And I've never heard somebody encourage me to, like, do theater, go to Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. And he also said, no wonder it's taken so long for Christian arts to have such an effect today. Because it's been so many years. Christian art has been here for a very, very long time. It really has. Mm-hmm. But it's only been the last, like, 10 to 15 years where it's finally starting to take effect on the public, Christians and non-Christians alike. And there's a reason for that. And I think Bill Reeves is correct. It's because young people, young kids, are not being encouraged to go to the arts. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're having such a hard time getting the message out there and creating and having an effect on the American public and also just the world in general. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's why there's so few of us. Because I think a majority of young kids are stifled. Like, people stifle their creativity and say, no, you need to be a doctor, you need to be a missionary, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be, you know... A pastor, whatever. Yeah. Like, so I thought he was so right. I was like, oh my gosh.
And also he was talking, too, that he was asked to do a panel at Sundance. And it was on... Because the Christian films was, again, the taking off, you know, like, I think it was... God's Not Dead came out around that time. He's actually the producer of God's Not Dead. And they were just, and I Can Only Imagine. So they're like, hey, you know, let's, you know, maybe this is kind of an industry that a lot of us indie people are interested in. Let's do a panel on Christian filmmaking, Christian filmmakers, or Christian stuff in the industry, in the independent industry. And their event was sold out. They said they had a fire marshal had to put a cap on how many people had to be in that building. Because there were so many secretive Christians in Hollywood that just were never just told anyone. They never told anyone that they were Christians. But they all wanted to come to that talk.
To be inspired, to be encouraged. You know, and I think that was it's really sad, you know, but also he makes a point of this is what the industry is like nowadays because of how the church has affected creative people. Mm-hmm. For decades,
right?
And that's really sad. He said he's like, why can't we send kids to Hollywood? Hollywood has as many issues as those in
anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. Like any missionary place, they have issues. There's not a worse. It's all equal. It's all the same. They all have issues. Mm-hmm. Why can't we send them to Hollywood? Why can't we send them to Broadway? Why can't, you know, like, what's the difference?
I mean, that's probably why, you know, I mean, and also, I think the reason why Hollywood's the way it is, too, is that there's a lot of gatekeepers there that are, you know, hey, this is what we're going to make, this is, you know, this is what makes the big money and all that, and the awards, too, you know, there's no, have you ever seen a Christian movie get nominated for an Oscar? No, I don't think, probably not in recent history.
I don't think so, but I thought that was a really good point that I always knew, but to put that into words, I was like, wow, like that is so true. Like I come from thankfully my family have always been encouraging to me and always saying like, if this is what God's told you to do it. You know, if he wants you to be in the arts, go for it. But outside of my family, I've ran into lots of people throughout my life just saying like, oh, don't go to Hollywood. That's the devil's, what were they called? The devil's hellhole or or whatever. Like, that's really bad. Don't go over there. You know, don't go to Broadway. You'll get turned and twisted, and you'll go the wrong direction, and you'll be sent to hell. Like all these just crazy things, and just no encouragement whatsoever. And I think that's also stifled like education, like Christian arts education. You know, having places for young Christian kids to learn how to act, how to write, how to direct, like the Academy of Arts do. They teach. They become the safe place for young Christian boys and girls to learn what theater's like and film is like, and to do it with excellence. There's not a lot out there, at least in America. There's not a lot like that in America. And if there are, then they are not well known at all. And I think, again, it's because of the church. The church does not support the arts. And that needs to stop. We need to change that narrative. We need to change that mindset and saying, no, Christian artists are no different than missionaries. They're not. We're both telling the same story.
It's a mission too. It's a ministry.
It's a ministry. It is a mission. It is also a business.
I think it was today actually. I forgot who said it, but they said one of the largest unreached people in the world is actually children, and that children is what films and these musicals and plays reach out to. You know, like that really influences your kids with entertainment. You know, instead of filling their minds, and actually children on their free time when they get off school, they go right to the TV and watch movies or whatever, play video games. And, you know, instead they could be filling their minds with, you know, Christian content or, you know, theater plays, whatever. I mean, things that are actually more godly as well. So why can't we make that content then? Why can't we make a content that counters that?
I think the church really messed up with letting go and kind of backing off of theater and film. I think they really messed up because now social media especially, but just the media entertainment space in general has consumed everybody's lives of all ages, and that's affecting our generation's mind basically, because we watch all these different things all the time. It's on our phones, computers, iPads, television. What am I? TV. I'm old as well, apparently. It's everywhere, and we consume this. I don't even know what the new research says about how many hours a day kids now watch stuff. It's come back to bite the church, basically, for letting go, and now decades later we have all of this, and people, and the church is now complaining like, I don't understand why young kids, you know, are like this or whatever. Well, it's because of what happened, you know, decades ago. You let it go, and now here are the consequences. Like, you shouldn't be surprised. Like, anyways.
And I say too is people go to church on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever. All those days of the week, Christians, they go back and they do their own thing. And they just, you know, forget, you know, everything. Like, they almost forget everything they learned in church. They just tossed out the door. Okay, I'm just going to go off and I'm going to watch movies. I'm going to go and see, you know, secular content. And it's not just like anything. Like, secular content could be okay if it has a good moral to it, a good story. And it could be a good, like, Christian redemption story.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with secular content. It's when they have stuff in it.
The thing that kind of pushed me away from like not having that interest in the past is because of how secular that space is. It's really big, and I think it's strangely, I feel like it's more secular than the film world. But there's so much musicals that are just about really dark topics. I mean, dark topics happen all around us, but I find like there's very few people in the Christian space that's in the theater world. Theater world is very full of I don't want to say it, but it's just people that don't have the ideas that more conservative Christian ideas, I should say. You know, I guess it's a little controversial, but
no, I mean,
yeah. I find that it's more. I hope that, you know, I'm really happy with, you know, stuff like this, Logos Theater or Arise Collective Theater or Sight and Sound Theater. I feel like they're a step in the direction.
There isn't a lot of Christian theaters in America.
Yes.
And there are Christian theaters, but they're very unknown and they're very small and they're scattered all throughout the country. They're not connected in any way, shape, or form, and no one hears about them. And that needs to change. Because, like you said, the theater is such a big part of people's lives, and it's a big medium, it's a big platform for art, and there's very little Christian content within theater compared to film. I'm very excited and thankful and so just overjoyed that festival wants to change
Yes.
that Nicole and Noah and other people want to change that. We want to make this platform bigger in the Christian space, in the Christian arts.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's going to happen if God allows it to, because theater is an amazing thing. That theater can do things that film cannot.
But yeah, it's just, I feel like there needs to be more encouragement in the arts.
Yes.
And all that, and encourage your kids, you know, to take acting classes, to take music lessons, to, you know, hone in on their writing skills, and art classes, because all those skills, you know, could apply to the arts.